Okay, so epilogue of Road to Ruin. Maybe I have a few more things to work out. I don't know. I'm just gonna start rambling. All right. So yeah, How to Ruin an Empire. Reboots. Terrible sequels. Space Jam. The Next Legacy. Oh wow, wow. I like the first one. The first one was humble enough with a bit of pretentiousness. Okay, sure, fine. It's all right. Still had enough heart to for it to matter. But then Space Jam 2: A New Legacy comes out, and I thought to myself, they're gonna fuck it up. Why? Look, they're gonna fuck it up. They have to. And I apologize for the swearing, but I'm just quoting myself from last year or year or two ago when it came out. And it's like it's gonna be pretentious. It's gonna be nothing much like it's going to be basically Ready Player One, if not better, because nostalgia critics said, "Oh yeah, look at these avatars. It'd be cool if it was actually an AI version of the character, which we don't get, but outside of the Iron Giant and yeah, pretty much Iron Giant. But basically, wouldn't it be cool if we could do that?" And I thought, yeah, that could be cool too. Oh wait, that's what they did in Space Jam. They have the virtual. Now it's no longer the Toon World, but a virtual world. Again, changes for the modern world. Uh, so that you see all these characters. So you're seeing the characters in the background, or at least cosplayer of them, because that's not really Arnold back there. And I really don't going to get the actor who played Pennywise, but I think it's the guy who plays I forget who he plays. Uh, Whoever Pennywise's actor is, I really doubt that, but they were so distracting because it's like, oh look, there's that character and that villain and that villain and that villain and that so you get more distracted than what's in the thing. And I just can't think of this as a movie as much as it is a feature long commercial for HBO Max. It's like that's all it is. That's all it is. And we don't have Michael Jordan anymore. They brought in Michael B. Jordan. It's like as close to a cameo as you're gonna get, and it's like I really don't care. Much like Ghostbusters 2016, it's like you can kind of see the epic what storm on the horizon. It's like I could just see it coming from that far away. I could just see it as it comes over the horizon. Why? Because I've been at this too long for me to not notice that. You know, like I said, what killed the RoboCop, franchise was making it political. The tagline, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." He doesn't mean them. He means himself. He doesn't care if he's dead or alive. He's still bringing him in. That shows his determination. Not, well, I don't care whether you're alive or dead. I'm just gonna still bring you in. That's the thing. There's a difference here, but everyone's just too busy trying to make it their own and kind of reference the original and other semi good ideas that aren't really executed too well. Like, he strains against it at the end to shoot the bad guy, Michael Keaton. And it's like, Michael Keaton's suddenly the bad guy because we needed a bad guy. It's like, so it's epically contrived. It's like, he doesn't do a bank shot, doesn't do anything cool. He just strains against his programming to shoot the bad guy. Yay! And again, the ending part of Terminator, what kills that franchise is basically it's all comedy now. Much like the Pirates film, where it's all comedy now and dick jokes. It's like, why? Why? And Thor series, along with the rest of the MCU or MCU. I think it's all comedy. It's the same thing. It took itself seriously. You felt the weight of the pain and the heartache, the determination, the fear. You fought along with them in that darkened theater. And now they're here with, I do the name drop, not the title drop, but the callback, I say the one liner, ha! And now I fall into the helicopter blades and That's it. That's it. That's all you're gonna do. You're gonna say the line and drop into the helicopter blades. That's it. You ain't gonna. It's not gonna start off an epic fight scene. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna start off with the epic fight scene when he says, "I'll be back," and then goes and fights him. Ah, nah, he drops in helicopter blades, and then like 10 to 15 minutes later, then he fights him. You know, and that just makes for no, it does not make for a good movie experience. And in the Power Rangers franchise, let's reboot this. Will be like a Spider-Man, Iron Man thing. So they said we'll call it out in the film so no one has to say that. You know, we know what we are. And it's like, do I look like I care? Whether you're aware of what your design is. All I know is that's not very impressive at all. I mean, the ones in the movies were good because they were just a step above from freaking spandex. This looks like armor. Okay, sure, fine. And it's like, and we terrible at it. We have to work at teamwork. Hee hee. And it's like, really, it's that hard for you all to work at some level of understanding? Really? It's like you're trying to make mountains out of molehills to make this more difficult than it really has to be. It's like, just fucking morph and get on with it. They didn't have that much trouble in the first episode. It's like, okay, now we morph. Yeah. Let's call our swords. Yeah. And now, let's do the theme song. Go, go, Power Rangers. Yeah. Yeah, alright, enough of that. And then it's like, okay, so what? You're just gonna do the stinger and that's it? Yeah, stinger. Oh, look, there's Jason, there's Tommy and Kimberly for the cameo appearance for the movie. Clearly filmed in a completely different time, and I'm like, I am not buying this. Nobody is buying this. I mean, yeah, that first time theater, you know, for the first showing for the weekend was kind of full, but I really doubt it, and it doesn't have much staying power. It set it up for the sequel, and that was like 2-3 years ago. That's back in 2018, just before COVID. So where is this supposed sequel to this superior quality of filmmaking and writing? You know, it's like, because it's not superior, it's not great, it's not epic, it's not anything except trash. It's someone's pipe dream. It's not quality, it's not fun, it doesn't take itself seriously. Hey, I jerked off a bull because I thought it was a cow. Again, cringe. That's not comedy. That's stupidity. And rewarding stupidity does not make me feel good about myself. You know, that's what Hollywood writers think is funny. Is to reward stupidity. And just because you bring Bryan Cranston into something doesn't make it a better movie. It didn't do very well in Power Rangers, not in Sneaky Pete, not even in Godzilla. You bring Bryan Cranston in for the 40-minute mark, where people in theaters are like, what, Bryan Cranston died at the 40-minute mark? Well then, what's the point in staying around for the rest of the film then? Oh wait, it's the 40-minute mark. Shit. I can't get my money back. So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, spoilers on that for Bryan Cranston dying. I kind of had a feeling they couldn't keep him in the entire film. And the actor playing his son is not up to par. It was either acted, directed, or written to support the rest of that film. That's why he's not in the rest of the film. So it's not in the future franchises, which they had to go into no, I think it's still same continuity, I think. I believe. Yeah, I believe. And that was just like, oh my goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me. Die Hard. Die Hard. Only have a couple of Die Hards, not the whole thing. I have Die Hard, A Good Day to Die Hard, and Live Free and Die Hard. I don't have Die Harder or what was it? Oh, what was it? what was the third one called? Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's the third one. So it goes in order like this: it's Die Hard 3, then Die Hard 2, and then Die Hard 4, and then 5. In that order. And with each passing film, you kind of see that they're kind of taking, the seriousness out of it and being more jokey, and it's like, well, the reason the first one worked is because he's trapped in the building. This is more contrived where he's pulled into a situation, but he's not really trapped in that situation. There's a lot of wiggle room, there's a lot of traveling, because you can't trap him in another building. You trap him at an airport, okay, that's why part 2 works, because he's stuck at the airport. He doesn't travel outside of the airport. I mean, he goes to the church, but that's like just barely next door as far as you can go, So he's still stuck in a rather large location, but he's still stuck at that location. Everything else is he's stuck in the city. I mean, in Live Free or Die Hard, he's stuck in D.C. In A Good Day to Die Hard is terrible. He's stuck in Moscow. That's it. And people keep mocking him that this isn't the Reagan administration. And it's like, that was before the first movie, Dink. It's too early to reference. And anyway. But people have been trying to capitalize on that and make their own little mini franchises like the Speed series. Speed 2 is not as good as Speed 1, preferably because, 1, it doesn't have what's his name? Okay, why am I blanking on it? What is his name again, John? As Keanu Reeves. Yeah, Keanu Reeves as John Wick. Yeah, the second movie did not have Keanu Reeves. It had some guy that looked a lot like him, but they also stated, yeah, this is my other boyfriend. And so that's why we didn't get a third one. Of course, knowing them and with Keanu right now, yeah, like the fourth, I found it like a month later for $5 or whatever, or $10 or whatever for cheap. Lesser than 20. That's cheap for DVD standards. In the shelf on a Barnes and Noble DVD section. So it's not the blockbuster hit we were all led to believe, because it's only written by one Wachowski and directed by one Wachowski brother, and we knew it was not going to be lacking because they did the same thing with Footy Cootie. If you know that story, yeesh. So yeah, it's only kind of sort of good because it only works on, it has the same kind of epicness, sure, but then it has a lot of back and forth thing, and I'm like, why are you going back and forth? Go there, then leave, and then don't come back until the end of the movie. But it's like, no, we gotta go back and forth like 3 times. I'm like, why? Why do you gotta go back and forth? You just gotta go there, do what you need to do, and then do it. Then come back. But they go back and forth, back and forth. Look, Open Range did that. I believe it was Open Range. The one with Robert Duvall, with the free range cattle and all that. And what's his name from The Postman? Kevin Costner? Yeah, Kevin Costner. Their back and forth thing kind of makes sense. In the span of one night, the span of the whole movie, pretty much, they go back and forth between the town and the doctor's house, like 4 times. And it's just, yes, it's a bit much, but it works it works for itself. You don't feel like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You kind of feel like you're going with the characters. They go there, then they go back, and they go, back to the hospital, the doctor's house, then back to the city, back to town again. It feels more like you're going with them, and all feels a lot more logical So you don't really feel or notice it until you kind of look back on it. It's like, oh yeah, they were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it all flows naturally. It feels organic. It feels necessary. That's what somebody would do. As opposed to in the Matrix, when it was just like going back and forth, back and forth. It's like, why do I keep going back and forth to Zion? It doesn't make much sense. Just go to Zion once, then leave, face the final boss, and then come back at the end. That's all you had to do. You know, story wise, you don't need to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it doesn't have, I don't know why, Lawrence Fishburne in it. But they have his stand-in for some bizarre reason, and far too many references to the previous one to actually get the plot going until the middle of the second act. If I say, okay, now let's get going, it's like, okay, and you going to do dramatic reveal, or are you going to do a crappy reveal? Crappy reveal. Just crappy reveal. Just do it. There's no real sense of awe here. So all the reveals are not very anticlimactic because there's no weight behind them. You don't feel the tension between, Neo and his boss, Mr. Anderson. So when he says, Mr. Anderson, it's like, it doesn't have any weight behind it. So the audience doesn't care. And face the music? Woo-wee, that was pretentious as all hell. I don't want to watch that again. I mean, if there's a director's commentary or special features or something, then yeah, sure, I'll get it on DVD. But honestly, I cannot watch that because it's just pretentious. I thought part 2 was bad. This is even worse. And initially, I liked part 2 until I grew up, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of more shit. That's kind of more shit in the middle. The whole middle part is just shit. Until they get sent to hell. Then it becomes a bit more interesting again. But before that, it's all this awkward cringe. And it's like, just get on with it. Stop trying to grandstand and be funny. And this, it's all just funny. We're funny. We're fun. It's like, you see what I'm getting at? That's why I'm whining so much. Because all this stuff we thought are supposed to be great because they're cashing in on our childhoods on the blockbuster hits of yesteryear. We're trying to recapture that for our money needs, and it's dog shit after dog shit after dog. That's why I'm loath to go to the movies, because I'm like, it's like, oh god, what now? But I'm trying to maintain hope and optimism. I really am, because I still have faith in good cinema. It didn't die after the first Transformers film. That was more the first inkling that we were in trouble. And in trouble we got. Yeah. But, like, Prey is still good. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've seen mostly the ending part. But, the Prey seems good. Nope was pretty good when I finally got into the right theater. Luck is surprisingly well written. Ish. Would put ish on the writing. But the character design and animation quality is rather superb. I rather like that. I don't know what else to tell you. You gotta take your source material seriously. And there isn't really a franchise that does that. I mean, they're not rebooting, but they're sequeling Willow, the miniseries, without, Mad Mardigan. I'm pretty sure they'll probably have his kid in there. The only thing that actually feels good, that is what it's supposed to be, is Maverick. Because it's no ands, ifs, or buts. It's all just a movie. It's not a political platform. It doesn't take itself, non-seriously, so it's all just a bunch of jokes. It has humor in it, but it's incidental humor. It's, oh, this is kind of awkward. Okay. It has triumphs and failures and succeedings and people, striving, by the seat of their pants to persevere. And it is exactly what it is. A movie to be enjoyed. And a lot of stuff I've seen before that is just crap. It's just pure crap. You know, uh, that's why I have all this stuff where people had put heart into something. They put themselves in here. They they made it likable enough. You know, you see heart, you see good writing, you see actors giving it their all. It's not like some, you know, gossamer thing where it's like it's this fragile thing that's so hard to get. We Hollywood has mastered the art of filmmaking way back in the near just after the beginning. You know, in the 40s and 50s, they knew what good comedy was, what works, what doesn't. But people still act like they know something. You know, and it's like let's just just push that out because that's just you know good enough for me. And it's like no, it's you, you gotta learn your craft. You gotta know what is the right amounts to put things in. What is a comedy? How does a comedy work? You know, what works, what doesn't work. It's like more like they're losing their grip on reality than they are honing their craft. The the reason certain things work at different times and different people and different genres because everything has its time and place. You know, you can't watch whatever movie you want just any old time. You have to be in the mood for something. That's why after a while I kind of just started walking away from the original 20 when I was growing up because it was like seeing it. What else is there? You can only watch Return of the Jedi only so many times before you kind of get a little bored. And yeah, so other films like Point Break, Die Hard, Hollywood Homicide, The Truman Show, The Goonies, The Quest, Radio Flyer, all these films about people persevering, struggle, life struggle, fanciful struggle, technical struggle, struggle against whatever comes your way, future struggle, past struggle, um, you know, family struggle, societal struggle, whatever have you, political struggle, framing, detective work, it doesn't matter. As long as as long as the spirit, as long as you stay true to the spirit of the medium you're trying to have, of the story, as long as it all feels believable, likable, ain't gonna be silly. I've had silliness. I've had Howard the Duck, for crying out loud. That's better than a lot of other films I've seen. You know, I just don't know when people went where they went wrong. They just thought they knew something, you know, or maybe it was studio interference. I don't know, or maybe they want to be, hip with the new crowd. Try to get in on all the kids. Bring in the young crowd or something like that. I don't know. E.T. E.T. Here. Let me tell you a little story on this. E.T. the extraterrestrial. The when Lucas, in his infinite wisdom, because he says Star Wars wasn't completed, it was an incomplete story. The special effects wasn't complete yet. So he in the late '90s, early 2000s, he went back. I don't know if you all remember this, but he released it on theaters where it was the better version with CG effects and stuff. And the first movie was basically almost a carbon copy of the first time it came out back in the '70s. Okay. Second one came out, there was a bit more, and the third one came out, was a bit more. That was, I think I have that over there. But point is that Lucas went back and said, okay, I'm going to, put in the special edition, and that's when I'm like, huh? It was fine the way it was. I didn't think anything was lacking. You have everything you need. But Empire needed Windows and Cloud City. But anyway, So when George started doing this, Lucas started doing this. Yeah, because they're friends. So Spielberg got it in his head. Hey, I'll do a special edition thing of E.T. where, now I'm not 100% sure if he wanted to redo like the whole thing or whatever, but I watched it again, and for the bikes to take off again, take off for the first time, that herd of bikes across the sky, and they have that roadblock, and the guys are brandishing their shotguns. Spielberg went back, removed the shotguns, and replaced them with mag lights. In broad daylight. Against children. Right? Because that's what you want to do. You want to stand there to look intimidating by brandishing your 2-foot mag light in front of children on bicycles. Unarmed children on bicycles and an illegal alien. You stand there in front of your squad car blocking off the street, brandishing your mag light. That will scare them. I'm not making this up. Look back at it. Look at the original version of E.T. and then go back and watch the later edition, and you'll see that it has the mag lights. Again, why? It was perfectly fine. But we gotta make it better for children. Yeah, the kids. We gotta be less violent. That's fine. People keep saying that. Look, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Violence in my media was just there. It was monotonous, same as comedy. Actually, if anything, words hurt more than anything else. The violence. I watched Young Guns and Commando when I was 5. And there are people out there more violent than I am. People out there with shotguns, shooting at people in dancing, whatever, disco bars or whatever. And it's like I'm not this violent person that said that I would grow up to be because I watch violent movies. Violent video games. We played violent video games. We had Mortal Kombat. My God, Mortal Kombat! My God! Scar me for life and made me want to fight and reveal my lizard face and rip people's heads off with my tongue and eat it. No. I'm sorry. I feel compelled to express this sense of stupidity that we find ourselves in. That we're trying to walk on eggshells around everything. We can't hurt anyone's feelings anymore. And we can't try to be edgy then we are edgy. We're too edgy. It's like, stop trying to make anything kidsy edgy and make anything edgy kidsy. Like, it's okay. You can find a middle ground. Or you can just let it be. It's just annoying. It's just annoying when you try to change the themes like knobs on a TV back in the day where it's like, I'm trying to adjust it to get the right balance of color and whatnot. It's like, and I remember messing with those things too. Those things were a pain. I like it better now with the buttons. But, it's just like everyone wants to fiddle with the knobs. That's what this type of era we're in, where everyone wants to fiddle with the knobs. Trying to get the right balance. Like somehow they don't know where the right amounts of it anymore. Like they lost the recipe book for grandeur of how to make a film or a story, and they're like, well, we'll just add this much. We'll just eyeball it. We'll get it right enough. I believe, if memory serves, even though I'm 60 years old, and 5 Emmys under my belt, how could this possibly fail? And then you have strange magic. So, again, corporations and people think they know what they're doing. And it's like a lot of just stop and ask what it is you're doing. Will this be funny? Is this funny? No, it's not funny. Is this a story? No, that's convoluted. but no one stops to ask or question themselves, will this work? They all just like blindly hope for the best. Like, you didn't blindly hope for the best before. You had a plan before. This is what you have now is not a plan. This is all just stitched together, quilt. This isn't a plan. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry I've been ranting for about 30 minutes here. It just gets annoying listening to all this pretentiousness of, like in the latest thing, She-Hulk. It's pretentious as all hell. I don't like it. I'm gonna watch it through because, I want to just, it's like a train wreck. I want to see just how bad it gets. Then, much like Loki, never really watch it again. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm gonna lie down now. And let's just get on with this. Alright. So take care. As always, see you at the movies. Bye.